The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Mosinzia. Available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. Also heard on hamiltonradio.net and also Oldies FM, Diamonds Radio, and a few other networks coming soon. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books, merchandise, and more. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com, and make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific lady who's author, poet, and Professor Emeritus at University of Tennessee and served 2 terms as Knoxville Poet Laureate. She also mentored poetry groups for Virginia Center of Creative Arts and anvillarfrance. Also, her poems have appeared in Plume, New Letters, Potomac Review, also American Diversity Report, and more. And her poems are mainly a lot about love, songs of healing, Jewish identity, humor, and songs from her travels in Paris and also parts of France as well, too. And she's on her 19th book, and it's called Ever When We Sleep. It's from Commonwealth Books and Black Widow Press. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, somewhere in the beautiful Smoky Mountains or somewhere in America, the amazing author, poet, and Professor Emeritus at University of Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, the author of the new book, Ever When We Sleep, ladies and gentlemen, Marilyn Kallet. Marilyn, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
It's afternoon here, and it's wonderful to talk with you. Actually, the book is called Even When We Sleep.
Even When We Sleep, okay.
Even When We Sleep, yeah. It comes from a line by the French poet Paul Éluard, great love poet, who said, "Even when we sleep, we watch over one another." And of course, he said it in French. He said, "Même quand nous dormons, nous nous veillons l'un sur l'autre." Even when we sleep, we watch over one another.
Wow.
So that's the even when we sleep part.
Oh, that's that's fantastic. Were you born and raised in France, or did you learn French? Or I'd like to hear about your background. Yes.
I went to France as a student when I was a junior in college at Tufts. I went to live in France with a family, and I went to the Sorbonne. And that just, started my love of everything French. And then the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts has some property in France, in Auvillard. And so I would go there, every spring to teach poetry workshops or to lead writing residencies. And, so it's kind of it has been a home away from home, and hopefully my French has gotten better.
It sounds like it, s'il vous plaît.
I hope so. Ouais. Because the men go, ouais. Like vacuum cleaners, ouais. Ouais.
Oh my gosh, vacuum cleaners. I can imagine that. So it's just all about you. You're an author, poet, and Professor Emeritus at University of Tennessee. Served 2 terms at Knoxville Poet Laureate. You mentor poetry groups for Virginia Center of Creative Arts, and your works have appeared in various publications, and you also have books out there of poems of The Love That Moves Me, How Our Bodies Learned, also Packinglight, and Jack the Healing Cat, which I like, along with the Movable Nest. And you're on your 19th book, which is called Even While We Sleep, from Commonwealth Books and Black Widow Press. And before getting to all that, Marilyn, tell us how you first got started.
I was a student at Jackson College at Tufts University, and at Tufts I had great poetry teachers, and one of my teachers, Madame Pradal, she was a beautiful woman, and she was an actor, so she would read us poems in such a beautiful voice, and she embodied the poems. And we weren't sure whether we were in love with her or we were in love with poetry, but it just, it was just amazing. So thanks to Madame Pradal, I fell in love with poetry, and then and with French, all things French. And then I went and I lived with a French family, the Moreaus, and during my junior year. And so that was very helpful for the language as well. And then I, keep going back to lead the writing residencies for the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts. So I've been very privileged. It's just been wonderful to have that place to go to. Now, of course, the last 2 years with the pandemic, we weren't in business, but next spring I will be leading another poetry residency in Auvillard. Auvillard is one of the 100 most beautiful villages in France. It's a designated village, and it really is beautiful. It's on the Garonne River, and, you can't get a bad meal. You can't get a bad glass of wine. Of course, I just go to work, but, it's not a bad gig, okay?
You're making me thirsty for wine already. By the way you talk.
Know.
Yes.
Well, it's 5:15 here in Georgia. I don't know what time is it there.
Well, we're about 4:15 in Bismarck, North Dakota, but that's another subject as well too. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
I do think that it was. That it was being in that classroom with Madame Pradal and just listening to her read Baudelaire, the French poet, and memorizing poems so that they become kind of part of our bodies of experience. Mm-hmm. And that was it. I was in love.
Wow.
In love with language, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And who are some of your favorite poets growing up?
Well, I also should tell you that another one of my teachers at Tufts was X.J. Kennedy. And X.J. Kennedy had a thing. He was a rhyming poet. I'm not, but he was a rhyming poet, and he would put on costumes and read bad poetry to us. And we loved that. I mean, it was poetry so bad, it made you just fall over with laughter. And so, that was the other end of the spectrum, but that helped too. And, to that day when I do workshops and so on with poets, I will, with younger poets, and I will have them do bad poems. We laugh too, because it isn't all like high toned, but some of it is a moose and a goose together had juice, but my cousin Marilyn had a sore tooth. So, stuff like that.
So it's just all made up then, pretty much, right?
Oh yeah. So, there's a wide range of poems to love, and I was lucky that I had Madame Pradal and X.J. Kennedy to lead the way.
Yes, and I can see it right now. Madame Pradal rang my bell. That bad professor was a bad razor. Yes.
See, you could do it.
I think anybody can do it. Yes, indeed, too.
That's all right. That's okay. Yeah.
And what are some of your favorite poems growing up? And what would you say your all-time favorite poem?
Well, there's no single one, but I went, when I turned 50, I gave myself a gift of going to what was then called Squaw Valley Community of Writers. They've changed the name now to just Community of Writers for obvious reasons. But there was Sharon Olds, Robert Hass, Yusef Komanyaka, just Brenda Hillman, every great American poet, contemporary poet. Lucille Clifton was there. I mean, all the poets that I had loved and adored, they taught there. And so I went back 3 times to just soak up that beauty and that wonderful instruction. And the rules there at the Community of Writers were that you couldn't say anything negative about anybody's work, which is very different from the writing workshops that we'd all been through, which were like, people were like really mean to each other. At the Community of Writers, you could only say what was positive. And if anybody wanted to hear something more critical, they had to make an appointment with one of the teachers and say, so what do you really think about this? And then you would get the lowdown on what was not working. But that was just such a blessed experience for me. And I've stayed in touch with those teachers. Some of them have passed on, unfortunately. Lucille Clifton is gone now, but that just lifted me up.
Oh, it's so amazing. I can imagine the bad poet probably getting reviews every day. Come on, you're in for another appointment. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was lovely to be wrapped in the upbeat, and to see how that could be done too. And you didn't always have to go, well, if this was my poem, I would change that line. I was just like, oh, yeah, well, go away.
Yeah, exactly. Just, go away and such. Of course, you have poems of love, songs of healing, Jewish identity, funny songs, and more. And you also got your books. And before we get into more about that, Marilyn, first you listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries, and also heard on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few other networks coming soon. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today, as well as TikTok. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. Also support the Mike Wagner Show with your generous donation on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with author, poet, and Professor Emeritus at University of Tennessee, Marilyn Kallet, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we heard a brief little bit of poetry from Marilyn, and you have poems of love, songs of healing, Jewish identity, and of course, some funny songs and songs from your travels in Paris and all of your France as well, too, and maybe talk about some of your poems of love and songs of healing, and what also inspired you to, come up with these poems, and especially some about your identity and travels and more. Tell us more about it.
Well, sometimes, I give myself the sort of homework to write a praise poem every day that is an ode a song about something positive, and even to write a positive poem or song about something that I really don't like. And so I've got, for example, Ode to Ragweed, Knoxville, Tennessee. Would you like to hear that?
Absolutely. Okay. You know what?
Right.
Recite all the poetry you want. The floor is yours.
Okay. This is Ode to Ragweed, Knoxville, Tennessee. Ragweed, you have turned my sinuses into I-40 westbound on a Friday afternoon. You've morphed my song into early Bob Dylan. You've changed my cash into crumpled tissues and Benadryl. You bankrolled my doctor's kids through Duke, through Vanderbilt. You wave your green handkerchief, and I bow and cough my forced tribute. You have raised Knoxville to number 3 on the allergy hit parade. Ragweed, you are queen of a humid kingdom, and you have created a hamlet of snot. To breathe or not to breathe. Poets need air, Ragweed. We beseech you, carry your pollen out to sea. Let salt be your Muhammad Ali, the blow that sends you down for the count, Ragweed. Oh, good. Oh, good. Good. Good.
Oh, that floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. I love the Muhammad Ali reference.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I'm pleased. We try, right? We try.
Yes, you also got some of Jewish identity, and I like to hear more about that, especially coming from a background which is totally amazing.
Well, let's see what I can find here that's okay, here's one. Go to, let's see, the Jewish identity. Here's one. It's taking me a minute. All right, this is the New York Grandma disputes Marcus Aurelius. Mm-hmm. My grandma from Brooklyn, okay? That was my dad's mom. Nothing lasts forever or even for very long, Marcus Aurelius opined. Oi, he didn't know your Uncle Harry, Grandma said. His stories were snoozers, and he passed gas at the table. Marcus, are you nuts? Didn't know Cossacks? How long we hid, no joke. Marcus the bilious never got packed into steerage for Ellis Island. But you got here, Grandma. Look on the bright side. Oi, Grandma said. It was very dark for a very long time. Aurelius was a Schlemielius. Ask your Uncle Nat how long the steel bars lasted in Sing Sing. Ask the East River how long it took to sink his guns. Ask the ones riddled down. Stop it, Grandma. We need hope. Oi, hope. The cockroaches on Coney Island had hope. Ask my guitar. Ask my guitar, stashed on top of the hall closet, how long it waited. Sometimes I play when no one hears. In secret, I strum Yiddish songs, and my heart rejoins the beat. Secrets run long. Music echoes over steppies past pogroms. And love? I'm still holding my baby daughter, my sons, and the mothballs from my secondhand store are staving off hungry enemies, keeping your little wool coat safe, in case by some miracle there's a great grandbaby and a better moving day.
Wow. I love that one.
Thank you. And you know what? We do have a great grandbaby. I'm here with him. I'm here with at my daughter's house with this beautiful little boy she's got. So, my grandmother didn't live to see that, but it's a blessing.
Oh my gosh, that certainly is a blessing. Yes, indeed. And of course, you got some songs and poems from your travels in Paris and
Yes.
Audible, and tell us more about it. Otherwise, we may have to put you in a trance.
Okay, so Audible is southwest France. It's not far from Toulouse. It's really spectacularly beautiful. It's on the pilgrimage route of Saint Jacques of Compostelle. So every day, pilgrims come through there down these sort of cobblestone roads to, they're on their way to pray. And it's every day you'll see people who rent donkeys come through, people with walking sticks come through. So I always think of myself as a kind of poetry pilgrim. And then after Audible, I go to Paris to meet my friends, French poets, and to give poetry readings and so on. So I have time in Paris as well. There's a poem in here called Breakfast in Paris.
Oh, I like to hear that. Or we should say. Not me, it's we.
Where?
Where?
There you go. Oh, that's perfect.
Where?
That's perfect. Yes, you got it. You nailed it.
Where?
Breakfast in Paris. They're playing songs of silence at Le Petit Déjeuner, and man, I know that tune. Those soundless notes I hear from you. No royalties on these blues. How do you say come back in your langue? They're spinning our ballad, buddy, and even a mouthful of this Parisian croissant can't calm my tongue. Oh, taste and swallow the bitter coffee. I'll wrap your silence in my silk scarf, my foulard, crooning the sounds of a woman alone in Paris. Not Edith Piaf, not Barbara. Just me, Tennessee, wailing these mean hound dog blues.
Wow, I love that one. I mean, you mix in France with Tennessee very well. I love that.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
And plus, you've done you're on your 19th book as well, Even When We Sleep. We also talk about your other books, The Love That Moves Me, How Our Bodies Learned, Packinglight, and also Jack the Healing Cat. I like that one. And tell us about some of those, especially Jack the Healing Cat, which has to be perfect to hear.
Well, when at some point, after my daughter went away, she went to the North Carolina School for the Arts when she was in high school, so she was gone. And our cat, Jack, ran away. The cat ran away, and I just became a crazy person. I mean, I went around the neighborhood looking for her. Somebody would say, well, I saw him in so-and-so's driveway. So I would I'd take a folding chair and just sit in that driveway. I mean, I was nuts, trying to find the cat. And eventually, when the cat didn't reappear, I wrote a children's book to kind of heal myself, which is called Jack the Healing Cat. And it's about a cat who runs away, but he does come back. And so it helped me to heal. And that book has been used in doctors' waiting rooms, in pediatricians' waiting rooms, and kids like it, and it's really it was healing to do, and just to read it to children has been really lovely.
That certainly has too. You also have The Movable Nest, and you also have Packinglight, and How Our Bodies Learned, and The Love That Moves Me. And tell us about some of those. And if you have some other books you want to mention, feel free to do so.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think we've talked about the main ones. I've done a lot of translating of French poetry, and the one that I think is my favorite is by Paul Eluard. It's called Last Love Poems. Last Love Poems is full of beautiful love poems, and so that's a good one to give to give as gifts to people that you care about. I think that Even When We Sleep, the new one, the cover was done by my friend Mindy Wiesel, who's a visionary painter. It's got a blue that's so deep you can dive into it. So I kind of feel like that, even if you don't open the book, you're going to love it because the cover is so good.
Oh, my gosh.
It's just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mindy Wiesel. Mindy Wiesel her family were Holocaust survivors, and Mindy herself was born in Bergen-Belsen. So she, she's just transcended every injury you can possibly imagine and has created the most beautiful work. To hold it in your hands is a joy. So what I'm saying is, even if you don't get into the poetry, you're gonna love the cover. But you might open the book, but we'll see.
And you also have How Our Bodies Learned, The Love That Moves Me, and everything, and those are your most noted books as well.
Well, yes, thank you. I'm looking at How Our Bodies Learned, and one of the poems that I really like from How Our Bodies Learned is called What Will Baby Eat? This poem was triggered by somebody writing to me. Somebody wanted to bring her baby to the Ovular workshop, and the person who was running the situation over in Ovular sent me an email that said the head note said, "But what will baby eat?" So I wrote, "What will baby eat? Baby will eat pate, foie gras, caviar, fat tears. Baby will eat blues. Coltrane, Madeline Peyrou, duck breast, duck mousse. Baby will eat riette, whipped cream, creme brulee. This little piggy dipped in champagne. Baby will nibble you down to the bone."
Oh my gosh. I mean, that is, I love naming all the food. Sometimes you wish I had that as a baby, I'll tell you.
Oh, good. Yeah, me too. I know. What did they give us back in the day?
Oh my gosh. I cannot think right now. Imagine what I have. So it's like, I think I can bring it for some pate, caviar, and whatever else. Turn back the clock, God knows when. So,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. And of course, I think about Dr. Seuss, being poetry as well, too. That's one of my exposures as well, too. And, and of course, I don't know about you, but it's like, Dr. Seuss, Cat in a Hat, and everything else. I mean, he really put some poetry into, people as well, too. And of course, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. So we just have all that. And of course, your new book, Even While We Sleep, it's your 19th book from Commonwealth Books and Black Widow Press. And tell us more about that and what got you inspired to do it.
Okay, so the publisher is wonderful. That he's been very loyal to me over the years. I got started with him years ago. He wanted to publish the Eloard book, the French love poet, and wrote to me about using that material. And so he did a beautiful reissue of Last Love Poems of Paul Eluard. That was, 15 years ago, longer maybe. And since then he's been publishing all my work, the poetry and the translations. So I've been really lucky, really fortunate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this book, the most recent one, Even When We Sleep, I heard on PBS, Yo-Yo Ma he was doing some cello songs called Songs of Comfort. And he said he started doing those during the pandemic. And he recommended that each of us, in our own way, do a comfort song each day. And that was March 18th, 2020. So I took that to heart. I did a comfort song every day, in poetry, that is. And so many of those are in this new book, Even When We Sleep.
That's rather interesting. Maybe you can just recite one or two from Even When We Sleep for us?
Sure. Let's see. Let's start with, okay. You can't. My horoscope says you can't find love by seeking it, so go create beauty. Sure. Would you like a side of Aeolian harp strings with that? Mm-hmm. Or Grecian urnship stamped with well-turned men? Are you done? The stars hummed. Weave lines like ivy wrapping the sycamore, slips that don't need us, almost weightless, like the crisp magnolia leaf you keep near the dash for company, tan like Spanish leather, like that boy in Seville. What was his name 50 years back? I bet he remembers.
Wow. That was something. Oh, my goodness. That was good. I love that one.
Thank you. Yes. His evil laughs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. And then this one, Joy Harjo, U.S. Poet Laureate, she recently her term as Poet Laureate. She served more than one term as Poet Laureate, U.S. Poet Laureate. She put up Beggar on U.S. Poets. This is called Beggar. Just one, I begged the muse. You again. Always the same shtick. If you want the line, you'll have to earn it. How? Write about something besides younger men. Write about something besides younger men, Muse said. Think of Elizabeth Bishop, who spent 20 years on the moose. No, I won't. Too late. I was already minding my mousse au chocolat.
Oh, you hit it right on the head with chocolate, I'll tell you. It's like, you got my favorite, chocolate and wine.
Good.
I think I think I'll have to come up with some, something chocolate, wine, somewhere along those lines like that too. And, maybe just one more for us as well too. And of course, you can also come up with something from the top of your head if you want.
Let's see what I want to do. I mean, maybe let's see. I think I was here's one. This was one from the series of comfort songs. And it's called Spiritual. Doesn't have any chocolate in it.
Ah, darn it.
What power has love during a pandemic? Ours was always virtual. Plato called it kind love swells stronger like a muscle that has been working out, but lighter, invisible, like atomic weights. Love that lifts us daily without hope of gain. We practiced for this. virtual, virtuous, faute de mieux. Write to me, buddy. Plato, Play-Doh. Mixed metaphors taste good. Honey, words are all we have and hold. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Play-Doh, man, that's like a throwback to childhood. You had to eat that stuff.
I know. Remember? We're lucky we survived any of that, right?
Yeah, that's right. Eating mud, drinking from garden hoses, and scrape your knees off of bicycles, and what else? So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh, and then. And then also just another thing, you've been Professor Emeritus at University of Tennessee, serving 2 terms as a Knoxville Poet Laureate, and some of the experiences you have as well, too. And maybe some of the poets come out there becoming famous and everything else, just an experience and, how can join, and also that, get into a know poetry, world of poetry, everything else.
Yeah. Thinking back, the Poet Laureate gigs I was really lucky because it was pre-pandemic, most of it, so I got to go into classrooms and senior centers, and there was one little boy named Dion who asked me if he could be my agent. He was 10.
Oh, wow.
And I said, yeah, sure. What will you do for me? He said, oh, I'll get you cookies. So Dion was going to be my agent, but... Yeah.
Is that agent for a day or agent for a lifetime?
I don't know. He was 10. We're not going to worry about it.
I know. I'm kidding.
It's if poetry made money, right? But yeah, no.
Exactly it, too. Exactly it. And what's coming up for author and amazing poet Marilyn Kallet? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosenzi of Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with author and poet Marilyn Kallet of Even When We Sleep after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with author, poet, and Professor Emeritus at University of Tennessee, Marilyn Kallet here on The Mike Wagner Show. We talked about her latest 19th book, Even When We Sleep. And what else can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Marilyn?
Oh, what a good question. Well, when the new book comes out, and I will be doing readings, so I'm actually having some in-person readings for the first time in a long time,
wow.
As you know, when everything shut down. So now I'll be out there with the book, doing public readings, and give this a chance to breathe. And usually after I'm done with a book, when a book has been published, it takes a little bit of time for me to get back into the writing process. I am working on a memoir. The memoir is so far it's called On the Night Train. My father had some run-ins with the mafia in New York.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he he sold vending machines, and he one day got a call at the house saying, take your machines out of that bar or we'll kill your wife and children.
Oh.
And my father said no. And let me just give you a tip. If the mafia calls you and says, just do it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Don't end up like
no.
Oh my gosh. Don't end up like the Godfather where you have a horse head on your bed, your legs cut. Yeah.
That's right. And the next thing we know, my sister had a very obvious police escort to school, my little sister. I don't remember having an escort, so maybe I was disposable. I don't know. But so there was that, and then that was Joey Gallo's people. And then he was shot at Umberto's clam house in New York City. So that kind of had a bad fiction ending.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it took care of itself. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But one of my uncles was involved with the Jewish mob, and I'm fascinated by that. He was always really nice to me, and he was always like a sweetheart. He looked like young De Niro. Mm-hmm. So when I saw the mob movie Once Upon a Time in America, and young De Niro was in that movie, I was like, that's Uncle Matt. It's kind of, but no, not really. Anyway, the good thing is that it gave me some wonderful stories. The bad thing is that you don't actually want to have death threats.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Right, yeah. And where can we find all your books at and your upcoming memoir, Marilyn?
Well, I'm working on the memoir, so this is like let's see if I can get it done within a year and a half. I'd say if I'm writing every day. The poetry you can find it on Amazon easily. The most recent, all of them on Amazon or at Barnes & Noble online.
Okay. All right. We'll certainly do so. We're here with author and poet Marilyn Kallet here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few things. I love hearing your poetry. And also we have talked about what's coming up. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, some of the poets that I studied with at the Community of Writers, Lucille Clifton was very down to earth, and she was a mentor. There was never anything affected or fussy about her. Her poems were song-like. Mm-hmm. They kind of welcomed you in with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. Yusuf Komunyakaa, who was his poems are sinewy and muscular, and every syllable counts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted that as well. Brenda Hillman did experimental poems, so the words were like sprayed all over the page.
Wow.
But they were rhythmically, really fascinating, so you were dealing with something more edgy and contemporary. Robert Hass did prose poems, and the prose poems are gorgeous. They tell stories, but they're also like every word counts. So
oh my gosh.
Among some of, those people, I've been very lucky.
Oh, it's so amazing as well. And most importantly, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Well, they say that you should write every day, but most of us can't do that. So I would say give yourself permission to try to write, every day. You can write on slips of paper. I mean, I have poems on napkins at home. I have poems on little receipts that I did when I was out, that you couldn't actually sit at the computer. So be kind to yourself. Do what you can. You miss a day of the poem a day writing. So what? I mean, just keep at it. And listen to the people who are upbeat and who will, encourage you. Because the last thing you need is if that were my poem, I would kill that line. No, don't do that. Right,
exactly. So have a glass of wine, everything will be fine.
There's the wine. Yeah, I like that wine idea.
There you go. I'm all for it with chocolate and more. I like the French chocolate. Please. Yes.
Yeah. Good wine too, please.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, we'll have to choose on that later too. We're here with the author and poet Marilyn Kallet here on the Mike Wagner Show with Even When We Sleep. And Marilyn, very big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. And before we go, would you like to give us another poem for us?
I'll do the little Eluard poem that stirred Even When We Sleep. He went, even when we sleep, we watch over one another, and this love heavier than the ripe fruit of a lake, without laughter, without tears, has lasted forever, day after day, night after us. That's Paul Eluard, my translation.
That is fantastic. I really love it. And once again, Marilyn, very big thank you for your time. You've been totally fantastic. Learned a lot and really enjoyed your poetry. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
So marilynkallet.com. That's Kallet. And that's my website, and you can find the books online at Amazon or at the Barnes & Noble. Those are the easiest ones probably. And my, that's why don't we leave it at that?
That sounds good. We will certainly do so.
Except I want to say thank you to you for opening the door for authors, opening the door for poetry. I mean, for some reason, people are afraid of poetry, and so it's great to have a conversation with you and feel like, oh, no, there's no fear here.
Well, you know something? It's my pleasure because you're full of treasure.
Thank you.
All right.
You're hired.
Okay, we'll discuss later, alligator, in a while, crocodile. Right. So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and we look forward to having you again soon, Marilyn. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best. You definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing, and powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms, and of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.